I never pictured myself as the type to share a story like this. I always saw myself as steady, cautious, a man grounded in logic and restraint. I didn't crave the spotlight or thrive on chaos. All I wanted was a quiet life, loyalty, love, and calm. That's what mattered to me. Her name was Elise. She was captivating, the kind of woman who could hush a crowd just by stepping into it. Her confidence was effortless, magnetic, especially to men. We met at a mutual friend's engagement party. She stood barefoot on the lawn, holding a glass of wine, looking like she belonged everywhere and nowhere at once. We talked until the stars faded, and I was captivated. 6 months later, we were sharing an apartment. A year after that, we exchanged vows. In the early days, Elise made me feel like I was enough. She'd pull me close in bustling rooms, flash a playful grin, murmur words that set my pulse racing. I thought her wildness was what kept life vibrant, that it promised adventure without end. But it wasn't the kind of adventure I'd imagined. The signs were there from the start, though I didn't see them clearly. Her phone always screened down. Hours spent gone, with no explanation, only to return acting as if nothing was amiss. Sudden shifts in her mood, sharp defensiveness, when I asked simple questions any partner might. She'd turn it on me, make me feel like I was suffocating her, like my care was a chain. I gave her space too much perhaps. The moment that shattered everything came on a plain Tuesday evening. She came home late, her hair too neat, her perfume too fresh, her gaze hazy, like she'd had a drink or two. I sat at the kitchen table, waiting, not angry, not loud. I just asked softly, "Where were you tonight?" She laughed, a sharp, dismissive sound. "Why do you always do this?" she snapped. "I'm not your prisoner. You don't get to control me." "I'm not controlling you," I said, still even. "We're married, Elise. I deserve to know when you're gone for hours with no word." She rolled her eyes. "You're so pathetic," she said, her voice dripping with scorn and liquor. "I do what I want with who I want. What are you going to do about it? Walk out." She stood there waiting for me to unravel, maybe to yell, beg, or break. But I didn't. I just looked at her, longer than I ever had, and saw someone else entirely. Not my wife, but a stranger in her skin. I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I got up, walked to the spare room, and locked the door behind me. She knocked once, then laughed again. "Go on, be a drama queen," she taunted. I didn't answer. At dawn, I packed a bag and drove to my sister's house. No note, no message, just gone. 2 weeks later, I had a lawyer send divorce papers to her workplace. Clean, precise, final. She called once. I let it ring. Then came the texts, first furious, then bewildered, then a flood of apologies. "I didn't mean it," she wrote. "You got it wrong. Let's fix this. Don't give up on us." But I was already done, heart, mind, and soul. Words like hers, spoken with such cruel pride, don't fade. They don't heal. I left because she dared me to, thinking I wouldn't. But I did, and I did it without a fight, without vengeance. Sometimes silence speaks louder than any scream. I built a new life, one rooted in peace. I rented a small cabin in the hills, worked from there, and turned inward. The solitude stung at first, but slowly, it gave way to something I hadn't felt in years. Clarity, freedom, self-worth. People ask if I regret not battling harder for my marriage. I don't. Love shouldn't be a war. A game of seeing how much one person can endure before they crack. Love should be a haven. The day Elise mocked me, boasted about her betrayal, and waited for me to collapse, I learned something vital. She thought my silence meant I was weak. But it was the sound of me walking away, my dignity unbroken. And that silence, it echoed louder than any words she'll ever speak.